No Project Hail Mary spoilers, just science and cats.
And cats doing science.
Worst part of movies based on books is that you can't include everything. There's never enough time. So here's a very short premise of Project Hail Mary. There's an alien microorganism called Astrophage living on the sun. It absorbs sunlight, reproduces exponentially, and if nothing stops it, the sun slowly dims, the earth freezes, and all life goes extinct.
Even cats?
Even cats. The movie can't cover as well as the book how Astrophage actually works. But if you think of Astrophage as a cross between a nuclear bomb and a microscopic space cat, you're already pretty close. Let me prove it.
Astrophage are single-celled alien life forms. Basically bacteria, but space bacteria. They're attracted to sunlight, just like me. They absorb nearly all incoming radiation. Perfect black body absorbers.
But since they maintain constant temperature, that energy doesn't just heat them up. They store it by converting energy directly into mass. E equals mc squared.
When they're done eating sunlight, they nap, somewhere warm, waiting.
Bob Barker reminding you to help control the pet population. Have your pet spayed or neutered.
Astrophage reproduce faster than stray cats. They double every 8 days. But they need carbon dioxide to divide.
And in our solar system, Venus emits a very specific infrared signature. Those wavelengths act like a GPS beacon, guiding Astrophage towards the biggest CO2 source around.
They reproduce by mitosis. One cell becomes 2. No bow chicka bow wow.
Then daughter cells use their remaining energy to fly back to the sun. Eat, nap, reproduce, repeat. Aside from being spayed, Serenity is basically Astrophage. Astrophage may be the most perfectly efficient battery that doesn't outright break physics. Each Astrophage cell can store about 1.5 million joules of energy. That's enough to power a light bulb for about a month from one cell. All right, 1 gallon of Astrophage stores 10 billion times more energy than a gallon of gasoline. This is Fruit Punch Gatorade. It's got what plants crave. The Hail Mary spacecraft carries about 500,000 gallons of Astrophage, roughly equivalent to 2.5 billion with a B Hiroshima-scale nuclear bombs.
Or about 2.5 Serenity farts.
Important distinction though. This is energy storage, not an explosion. Astrophage don't go boom, they just wait. Which somehow makes them worse.
Why doesn't anyone at NASA ever return my calls about my cat-powered rocket? Fine, how about this idea then? What if you just took a zillion laser pointers and pointed them backwards? Wouldn't that push the rocket forwards?
Astrophage converts stored mass back into energy as directed infrared light. Photons carry a teeny tiny amount of momentum, small but not zero. Push the photons backwards, rocket gets pushed forwards. Push enough photons and you can get moving pretty fast. The spin drive tricks Astrophage by simulating carbon dioxide behind a transparent wall. The Astrophage fire their energy, slam against the wall, and push the ship forward. When they run out of energy, they die, and their remains get scraped off, and then new Astrophage come in to take their place.
They think they're headed for the bow chicka bow wow. Instead, they're used as rocket fuel.
This is starting to sound epically complicated, even if they're trying to eat the sun and kill us all.
Serenity hates being picked up. I'm taking one for the team here because she is gonna scratch up my arms pretty good jumping onto this table for snacks. She's not trying to hurt me, she's just on a mission and everyone else around her at snack time is collateral damage. Astrophage are the same way. Once they sense sunlight or carbon dioxide, they fire their laser beams and blast off towards their target, and anybody caught in the crossfire gets roasted.
Astrophage are single-celled. If your containment isn't perfect, they leak. Cats do this too.
If you ever bring a cat into a hotel room, make sure you block the little gap between the bed and the wall. Do not ask me how I know this. Indy. Let's sanity check Astrophage by scaling them up to the size of cats. Solar energy at Earth's surface is about 15 watts per square foot, averaged over a day. If Serenity absorbed sunlight all day and converted it into mass,
Looks like she already has.
it would take about 270 million years for her to gain 1 pound, which tells us something important. Astrophage aren't powerful because they absorb fast. They're powerful because they reproduce fast. An 8-day doubling cycle lets them spread out over enormous areas, capturing more and more energy. And now let's reverse it. What if cats could convert mass directly into energy?
I'd never have to use the litter box after Serenity stinks it up. Ever again.
Using E equals mc squared, 8 ounces of food equals 20 quadrillion joules. Enough for me to power the entire state of North Carolina for a day, all by myself. And with plenty of energy left over for Zunies.
See? That's what I've been saying this whole time. Forget fusion. Cat power is the future.
If you like this mix of science, ethics, and tiny creatures with catastrophic power, watch our Andor video next. It's about design, control, and the value of curiosity.